My name is Zhang. I live in Kingston, Ontario. I'm a dentist. I just turned 40 and I am in better mental and physical health than I've ever been. So looking back now, thinking about it, even when I was very small, 7 years old, I found a photo of me with a small belly sticking out comparing to all my peers, and I think that was the start of my poor metabolic health, eating a high carb diet back in the day. And my first ever symptom, not mental health, but it was developing PCOS, and I had a lot of pain, and all I was given was painkillers. And then by my mid-20s, I could feel sometimes I couldn't control my emotions. I had procrastination, especially if exams are due, if there's things I want to do, but I just couldn't, and that's really frustrating. And it's worse with the weather, it's worse in the winter, it's worse when my period is coming on, and so on and so forth. But I did okay, all things considered. Went through school, but by my mid-30s, even though my life was just perfect, best husband, best dogs, best farm that we live on, best jobs, I started having suicidal thoughts, and and the fact that I know my life is perfect does not help, and everybody else telling you that does not help. But I was coming in and out of it. It wasn't on all the time, so I didn't take medication. I was just kind of soldiering on, but every day the life is kind of hard, and there are days I had trouble talking to friends, co-workers, my patients. I just hate engaging in conversations. And when I come back home from work, sometimes I will just sit in front of the TV and read something on my phone, and sometimes have another source of music or podcast playing. I just need all that input I thought I was relaxing, but it wasn't. It was just, I don't know, to pass the time. And by that point, I wasn't obese by the classic definition. My BMI was 24, which I later learned for an Asian person is quite high and dangerous. But I was starting to just lose weight. I was counting calories. I lost a bit of weight, and then just happened to find out about intermittent fasting, and I did just cold turkey, a 2-day fast, and I felt better immediately. And then I start going down that rabbit hole, doing just 1 or 2-day fast, nothing crazy, and starting to look into keto. And that's when one day I made a dessert with heavy cream, which I never used to eat. I was eating a just low fat, high fiber, all that stuff. But I ate probably a whole cup of heavy cream, and next day I woke up happy. Literally, I don't want to sound like a crazy woman, but it's literally overnight. That switch just turned on, and I can talk to people. I make connections. I still have ups and downs. Like with the hormonal cycle, I find that's the biggest factor in my mood and my appetite and craving and all that. But I would say my worst days now was like my best days before. That was 8 months ago, and I've kept that going. It never left me. The depression, it just didn't come back, because I knew what it takes. I knew what I wanted. So it's very easy for me to keep on with the fasting and eating higher fat content. And now I've been to quite a few conferences. I've connected with people in the community, and I'm still tweaking my diet and exercise and sleep hygiene and everything. But I feel like my depression is just gone. Give metabolic health a try. There is really no risk. There is so little risk. People recommend exercise all the time and hesitate to tell people to like fast for a day or, you know, don't eat that donut. But when you think about it, exercise has risks. More risks than a therapeutic carbohydrate reduction, I would argue. And in my experience, it's only, and I'm not saying exercise is bad, but in my experience, it's only when I tweaked my metabolic health and gained the energy, both mentally and physically, that I was able to exercise and start my recovery process. So I would say definitely give it a try. There is very, very, very little downside, and the upside is complete remission of your condition without medication. So it's a no-brainer. It's in this world, I literally don't know of anything else that would offer such a great return.